10 million in a year. Huge, it sounds, but is it really huge? By the way, of that 10 million, half die in China and India, they say. So even more of concern for us. So I was trying to make sense of what does it mean. And I looked at the most violent times that we speak about often, and those were world wars. Right? So many got killed in world wars. So I looked at World War I and II killed how many people and in how long, and I estimated roughly what this comes to. So World War I and II combined came to roughly 100 million people dying, and it roughly lasted for around 10 years. So what is the deaths per year? 10 million. Now this is interesting. We are killing people at a rate that is matched only by the world wars, and we don't even think of violence or smell of violence or talk of violence in our times. So there is a whole world war going on out there, killing at that rate, but killing very gently, without all the fuss, with things like pollution. So for a country that values ahimsa, this country should be the world leader in green, nature-friendly businesses which help life rather than take lives, because going green means business, but not going green means suicide, means genocide, means crime, means murder. And that is what we need to feel from our being, from our existence. That's when we'll do more than just business. Otherwise, we take it as a part of business to do a little and talk a lot more, what is often called greenwashing of our affairs. Greenwashing or even going green just for business is not proportionate to the times we are living in. We'll have to go green for life, for humanity, for spirituality, religion, and so on. So we need to redefine violence. We need to redefine our religions. We need to perhaps redefine God. We need to think of, as a Hindu or as a Jain or as a Buddhist, when we say ahimsa, it very, very much relates to what our business does to the other people. So therefore, I really think it's a great timely initiative. I'm so happy about that we are talking of going green, but I would like it to be going green beyond just business. Great, we are talking of that as business, but more a felt sense of responsibility towards all living beings to live in harmony with nature. Now I'll share a little bit about what is possible. What is possible even in very harsh conditions. I mean, in Delhi or New York, you can do a lot more and live a lot more comfortably. You have so many resources, you have so many technologies, but in harsh conditions of the Himalayas, things are not as easy, but a lot of things are still possible. So I'll share here with you.
Sir,
yeah.
They will murder me, but I need to tell you that in 5 to 7 minutes you have to leave, sir, because of your flight.
Right.
Honestly, we'd love to have you longer.
Yes.
Maybe 5 to 7 minutes.
Yes. Okay. I'll share with you some images of what we have been trying and doing in the mountains of Ladakh. Can we go? So this is this school where not only do children who have not passed their board exams would get a second chance, but also us grown-ups would learn to live in harmony with nature using natural materials and natural sources of energy. So, this school was established in the mid 90s, and since 95 it has been completely powered by the sun, when concepts like zero energy, off grid were not even coined, and fully built with earth, natural material like mud, which everybody finds under their feet. It was designed to make the most of nature. So, therefore, you can see, as a part of students' education about how the sun moves, how the planet rotates, you get to know how nature works and how to take advantage of it, to use it to our advantage. So, in winter the sun moves from southeast to southwest, and therefore, we strategize to make maximum use of the sun. So, all buildings are facing south, so that they get all the sun in the winter. Then, to build, we went to learn from our ancestors. They are not around, but what they did are still around. For example, a fort here in Saspol, 1500 years old, still standing, 4 stories. Even if people have plundered all the roof and wood and so on, they still stand. And we say concrete is the strongest, cement is the best material, which is supposed to have a life of 60 to 100 years. And this has been standing for 1500 years. So, what is wrong with our ancient wisdom? Why not blend it with modern rather than throwing the baby with the bath water? So, we started learning from these forts and palaces. What did our ancestors do so right that it still stands much better than so called modern materials, which pollute, which kill, and these don't? So, we reverse engineered the kind of mix they would make to make this kind of walls, what kind of grains they mixed to get such good lasting walls. And then we started teaching and learning at our school, and then we started building new buildings with the same ancestral material. Now, our ancestors did not have science of heating with the sun, which came with transparent materials like glass. So, we added that to this, and then you can see the chapter on heat in their school, conduction, convection, radiation, all come alive to make them see how science works for them. And with the ancestral material and modern science, you get beautiful, comfortable life using traditional ways of farming and living in modern, a blend of modern and traditional, which keeps them warm in winters and cool in summers. This is a cowshed. Even the cowshed is solar heated, and we discovered that when you give the cow the warmth in winter, they double or even treble their milk production, because the energy from their food doesn't go into heating their huge bodies. You learn in science, warm blooded animals have to keep their body temperatures at, for example, 37 degrees. So, normally the food goes into doing that, and when you give the heat from cheaper sources like sun, it becomes milk, then the food. So, you have lots of in a way revenues from adopting green technologies like this. And then our students master these crafts and become entrepreneurs who can build for others, so that they can also live in these ways. So, these are, yes, green buildings that are built with natural materials, no toxic emissions or even release of fumes and things indoors, especially in a cold place, and no power, no nothing. And now they build for resorts, homes, to help the others go green. And this is ancient material like earth, but I can tell you they can look quite good also. When we started in the 90s, we were ridiculed for going towards earth, which was seen as a backward material. But if you know where you're going, people catch up with you sooner or later. With all the climate change and environmental issues, over the next 15-20 years, the world did start catching up, and by 2016, these same buildings that were ridiculed got us the Terra Award in Lyon, France, for the world's best earth buildings. Yeah? Similarly, at this campus, the source of all energy is sun, whether it is cooking, greenhouses, lighting, electricity, water heating, pumping, or the cows. As I said, even the cows live in solar cowsheds. And for adopting these, which people didn't understand in those times, in the 90s, but if you continue, the world catches up. So by 2017, for these very systems, we got the Sustainable Architecture Award. And now something I'll share, I think I have time, I'll share for scaling up for impact, because this concerns all of you also. You can see how the image is, lot of smoke, lot of haze. This is the city of Leh, early morning in December. This is how it becomes. When everybody starts heating their houses in the cold Ladakhi winter with burning wood, fossil fuels of all kinds, and even garbage if you can't afford much heating. So the air becomes like this. And when you heat with fire, especially the Indian Army, which has a huge presence in Ladakh, you can imagine how much oil has to be burned to keep 1 lakh soldiers warm in bitter cold of Ladakh. Not only the air gets polluted and it kills you softly, it kills you abruptly also. For example, fires. So many soldiers burn to death, not from enemy fire, but fire of these kind of systems that kill them. So heating in these crude ways has been very violent. And now we are working to make our experience in solar heated mud buildings into a product that can be supplied to people and to, say, the Indian Army, which can be built quickly and can work. So this could solve the pollution of Ladakh, the air pollution in Ladakh. But now I'm connecting it to something that is closer to you. Can you imagine what this picture is showing? It looks like clouds, but it is not. It is man-made. It's a NASA picture from satellites. It's all man-made. These are the fires from Punjab and Haryana fields burning rice, like it was mentioned in the morning. It becomes a whole cloud-like thing that satellites can see, and 17 million tons of straw, they say, is burnt every year, causing so much pollution even in Delhi. So what we are doing now is to solve the Ladakhi pollution problem, at the same time rescuing pollution from Punjab and Haryana. So we are importing, this is a prototype, Punjab straw that would be otherwise burnt and pollute the air to Ladakh in compressed form, and then developing a new material for building, which is very insulating, very lightweight, what we call straw clay. So straw clay sounds primitive if you were told, fiber reinforced, like FRP, fiber reinforced plastic, or carbon fiber. You might get a little more impressed. Maybe I should call it SRC, straw reinforced clay. Yeah? Then maybe it makes better sense. So you make panels out of it, walls out of it, and ready to assemble houses from this. Something like a Lego block we are making out of them to quickly assemble into a house, something like this. You could put it together, and then we are putting it together with our innovations in heat, thermal innovations with phase change materials and so on, to get houses like this, which we have been proposing for the Indian Army also, so that they don't have to pollute the air and die from all the fire and things. And not only in Ladakh people live happily, but in the plains of Punjab, Haryana and Delhi people live happily. Roughly 10,000 such shelters are needed by the Indian Army. So, we need to explore places, areas where you can make business, at the same time serve nature and people and their well-being. This is, I will just quickly show some slides about solving water issues. Like in this solution to heat, there is no moving part, there is no ventilators or fans in the heating systems that you saw. It's all natural processes like convection, conduction. Those are natural processes that happen. So, in any of these houses, people come in and look for the heater. There is none. It's all natural. You can live comfortably without sacrificing the earth, is what my message is. You don't have to kill the nature, plants and animals to be comfortable. In the harshness of Ladakh, if people can live at plus 15 to plus 20 without a moving part, you can do much better in the comfort of places like Delhi. Similarly, for water, our glaciers are melting away thanks to all the industry that's happening around the world. The climate is changing, it's killing our glaciers, and now there is shortage of water in springtime, because glaciers are smaller and they don't melt early spring because they are very high and cold. So, 3 years ago we started working on artificial glaciers to make use of, again, no power, no moving parts, no machines, we don't have any, but you can use natural processes. So, gravity, just the gradient of the hills, as you can see, there is a gradient, luckily, there is an upstream and a downstream. So, if you put a pipe upstream and bring it down, high school science says that water will always maintain its level. So, if you bring it down, there will be pressure in the water to go to the same level, and if you put a fountain, the water sprays into minus 20 air, which removes its latent heat, and it falls down and shapes like a big cone of ice. And a cone has low surface area. The geometry is such that it has low surface area for the volume, and therefore the sun cannot melt it till June. So, you can keep water from January, when no farmers need water, there is no farming, still water goes waste, till June, when all farmers need, May or June. And this is a cone of ice that is 7 stories tall, 1 million liters of water, and we wanted to know how long it lasts. We thought it could last till May if we are lucky, but this lasted till August, giving its water slowly. This was other ones. This is how it makes and how it melts, and it's collected in tanks, and then it waters trees. And deserts that have never seen greenery ever, you can grow trees thanks to these artificial glaciers, which bridge the gap of spring. After July, there is plenty of water. You have floods, so you don't need to take care of that. It's just 2 months that makes a desert so desert-like, and therefore, with this little ice, you can green. Now it is spreading into villages. Other villages have made much bigger than what we have. This one contains 7 million liters, likely 70 lakh liters of water, and it's spreading into different parts of Ladakh and even Switzerland and other countries. Yeah, and it's to sustain it financially, we are developing tourism around it. So, one village started ice cafe inside, another started ice climbing, and we are working on ice hotels, yeah, so that experience of the tourists can finance water for the farmers. Then, after we got the Rolex award for this innovation, we thought, why should it become an one-off thing in some corner of the world? Why shouldn't it be a part of every young person's life to be solving their own contextual problems? So, we thought of establishing an alternative university which is contextual. In the mountains, it's about mountains. In the oceans, it is about oceans. Right now, whether it is coasts of Kerala or cold desert of Ladakh or hot desert of Thar, we have the same universities, equally irrelevant. So we are trying to establish a university where young people engage in solving problems, and a desert like this on the left will be greened like that to host this university. Taking advantage of the Rolex award, which comes with some money and a lot of publicity, we launched this concept just the week the award was announced, and started a crowdfunding campaign so that everybody can get associated with it and contribute. People not only contributed money, but experts came giving their skills, expertise, and students even did their own contribution. And we hope this can change the kind of higher education we put our young people through, and tomorrow we could be solving our problems in a better way with our youth geared towards it. This is not the end, but I